Hell! Oh man, it's been a while. Oh, I had to really. Hell! There we go. It's been a while since I've had to use the heo. You know.
I mean, I think we use it on a pretty regular basis.
Heo!
Maybe you should hang out more with your friends.
Yeah. That's a good point. Welcome to another episode of the Best Friends Discuss podcast with your hosts, Mike and
Brad.
And
Gage.
And
Chester Omega Barkington.
yes.
Woof!
Brad, I kind of think that was Gage just saying woof. I don't know. So, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of podcasting, even though we took about a 5-month hiatus.
Hey, that wasn't our fault, okay?
I mean, yeah, it was Karen's fault because she contracted the
Rona.
the Rona. She's good now. She lost one arm, separate incident, but gangrene, I'm telling you what.
It'll teach her to call the manager.
Yeah. Less likely to wag her finger, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't. Know what you mean there.
I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, so we were on a 5-month hiatus. Our 1-year anniversary is coming up. Brad, do you know when we posted our first episode?
No, but I could probably look it up.
I think I know the date. And
Of course you do.
Well, you never forget. You never forget.
Just like 9/11.
Ooh, I think you're right. I think we started on 9/11. Or I think so, or it was like September 1st. But I want to say it was 9/11. We started. Okay,
9/1.
I was wrong. 9/1. So in 8 days, 8 days, 8.
2 weeks?
Sure.
Week and a half?
Yeah, something like that. It'll be our 1-year anniversary. Look at that. We made it.
What was the goal? Wasn't there some goal of like...
It was 50 episodes before we just got sick of each other.
Well, I think the Rona prevented us from getting sick of each other.
Well, we also did not hit 50 episodes, but anyway.
Gage, look at this growth here.
Yeah,
Look at this growth.
we made progress.
Look at this growth.
It's a lot of countries.
That's a lot of countries.
Ireland, Russia, Canada, Ukraine, Germany. I saw India, Denmark, Georgia. Estonia, dude.
Where even is Estonia?
It's right. So you know where Europe is? It's
Yeah.
right around there.
Oh, wow.
So you know where America is? Nowhere near there. But yeah, I mean, we've honestly grown quite a bit, and it's quite nice.
Yeah.
The quality has also raised up.
Risen? Improved?
Rise. No, I'm talking about the Xbox game, the Xbox One game that came out at launch. Rise with a Y.
Y?
Yeah.
The Roman one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played that. It was on the Game Pass.
Yeah, it was all right.
I mean, it was great for like 12 hours of gameplay, and then I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, look, literally anything else. So, whoa, easy there, Tipsy.
I'm multitasking.
So, but yeah, we've made a lot of progress, and we have nothing to show for it other than we have a viewership. I mean, when we went into our hiatus of not recording and putting out new stuff, we were getting told like, hey, when are you guys starting the podcast again? Like from coworkers and family members and friends, they were like, when are you doing the podcast? Like, get on that. It's the only joy we have in this world full of pedophiles and Trump and a coronavirus and...
Oh, don't forget about the riots.
Oh, the riots,
the riots.
the protests, the having to wear a mask.
Dude, the smoke here is just so bad right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Brad made a pretty good joke about it the other day.
Oh, yeah?
We couldn't...
We couldn't figure out where it was coming from, so I was thinking it was actually from the police station from Portland.
Okay. So also, just a lot of people want us to start this up, especially in a world where there's still like Caitlyn Jenner. Is Caitlyn Jenner still a thing? Omega, is Caitlyn Jenner still a thing? As you're biting Gage's hand. So yeah, we're attempting to start it again. I don't know how much we're gonna actually like get into stuff recording wise. But at least maybe we could put this out for our anniversary episode, just as a one-off,
or
till we can start again.
Counterpoint.
Oh, okay.
Me and Gage just start fucking kidnapping you on a weekly basis, and you don't have a choice in the matter.
Well, I kind of have a choice in the matter.
No, you don't.
Especially
No, you don't.
if I go to Seattle.
Well,
So
then we're going to
you
be
don't?
kidnapping you for a lot longer than just one night.
Alright.
Because it's a drive.
Oh, yeah, it is. So, I figured for this, let's do a catch-up episode. I know Omega really wants to catch up with Gage. He immediately started licking your pockets again, so.
He just loves me. Yes, he does.
So I figured this would be a kind of a catch-up episode for a couple of things. I have a lot of shit to talk about. I don't know about you guys. Omega really wants to know what has been in your pockets.
Treats. I just ran out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Edibles?
Those are human treats, not dog treats.
Oh, but they can be dog treats. Yes, they can. Alright, so, Brad, what is new with you?
Not a whole lot has been new with me. I mean, we got closed down because of the Rona, so I took that time, took all my Trump bucks, and built me a craps table. So
For
we
his
can get
birthday, more importantly.
we have a illegal gambling ring here. Now that we're
Whoa.
teaching everybody.
Yeah, we found out that I'm really good at it.
You're
Just-
good. You're a good roller.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good. It's important.
Well, I'm also a good bettor. Brad doesn't like it, but
Your increments are off.
Yeah.
But
You would piss off any dealer down in Vegas. Let's just put it down that way.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But other than that, the only thing I've really been doing is persuading people to the dark side. So...
Yeah, I heard all about this.
about Mandy and me persuading her to the right side politically. And her going off the deep end. And her husband constantly telling me I created a monster.
it is
Kind of fun for me, honestly.
Well, I see this too in smaller increments. At work.
Yeah.
Between y'all's interaction, and I'll just come in and y'all are talking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna leave. You guys crack me up. That's all.
So, would you say she's far right now? Kind of like far right Jay from Letterkenny,
Oh, God.
or hard right,
right.
hard right Jay.
No, not quite that far yet.
Okay,
I still have a little. I have still a little bit more work for her.
Well, even when I visited, you were like, "What have I done? I need her to back off." So, so you've.
that's because I don't want Nick to kick my ass.
I mean, that's fair.
I'd honestly pay to see that fight.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like no offense, Brad. It's one-sided.
Brad's scrappy. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I know he's scrappy, but I think Nick has the reach, and
Get on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, I think he has the reach, but also the speed. Where Brad just has the speed, but he is also a dirty ass fighter. So
My grandfather told me once there ain't no such thing as a fair fight.
Yep.
So
yeah, which is fair, or not.
Yeah.
But so you, in your time of quarantine and doing what you do, you kept evil. You got sin with gambling, and then you also created a monster by just ruining Mandy.
Yes. And bought a few more guns.
Oh yeah, you haven't shown me your new gun yet.
No, I
I
haven't.
also have not seen your new gun yet.
Yeah, Brian, you might as well bring it out. Come on.
We'll do that off mic once significantly more alcohol has been consumed. Because it's the only time you're supposed to play with guns.
We could play Russian roulette. It's not a revolver though, right?
No.
I want to go last. So,
Hey, remember.
oh. You know what? You know what I've been doing is when I've messed with people and like got away with it. I've been doing the Spaceballs thing where he's like, put it there, and shake hand and takes the ring off, and he's like, I can't believe you've done this. You fell for the oldest trick in the book. That's what you just did with Omega by walking out of the room, then turning around, walking back in, and closing the door before you entered.
I knew he would follow me. There was no
Oh, yeah.
question.
Yeah, he did. What? It's like when Brad's here, he focuses on Brad. When I'm here, he focuses on me. When you're here, he focuses on you. It's a trifecta. Yeah. Brad's like, thank Christ.
Well, it's different levels of attention.
Yeah.
You know, he sees Brad every day. Mm-hmm. He sees you probably,
Not
recently, a little bit more.
Right.
And then he sees me just behind that. So he strives to get the most attention from the person he gets the least attention from
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Yeah. Also, I think he's a doofy motherfucker, so I don't like looking at him.
How dare you, sir?
Well, he's a great dog. If I wanted a dog like that.
He's like basically the closest thing you have to like a close nephew. You helped name him, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And he gets really excited.
You basically were just like, yeah, it looks a little downsy, but I still love him. What kind of uncle are you?
Not a good one, I guess. All right, so Brad went evil with his free time, as per usual. Gage?
So the good thing about what I had in store for my summer was it didn't necessarily involve a whole lot of outside human interaction. I went home last summer for 2 months, so I kind of missed the summers here. Mm-hmm. And what they have to offer with floating and camping and the outdoor activities. So I told myself that summer 2020 would be the summer that I made up for last one. And let me tell you what, I did it. I went camping probably at least once a week, if not twice, and floated it probably at least twice a week. So I was truck's been in adventure mode, just always loaded up with all my camping stuff. I bought some inflatable paddle boards. So that was like the big investment of the summer. Best investment I ever made. Like, hands down. We float the river with them. We can take them out when we go camping and go out on the water with them. When it's like
How big?
10 foot.
Oh, wow.
And nothing beats going out. You know, you wake up with the sun, take them out 7:30 in the morning before all the boats and stuff are out there, and it's just glass. And it's been great. That's all. That's literally. I wish there was more to report, but I have just constantly been off grid.
I miss the water so much.
Mm-hmm.
I miss it.
I have a bunch of pictures I'll have to show you.
Oh, yeah.
That I've taken over the summer of just out camping and whatnot. It's been great, man. I've fully enjoyed it, for sure.
And you have no roommates anymore, so that's nice. It's just you and your gal.
At the beginning of Rona, I think some news reports had come out on it. I think it was just before it tipped from like hey, this is a bad thing to like, holy shit, it's a worldwide pandemic.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we went from each paying like $300 and some odd for rent to now having our own apartment together at the beginning of all this, then to getting furloughed for a few months and not receiving any unemployment. But hey, we made it through it. That's all that matters. It was the last easy move I'll have for the rest of my life. You know, because it went from just having to like partial. I mean, we had the kitchen through work that I've acquired over the years. But you know, we had like the entertainment center for the living room, and really our bedroom were the only things that we already had. So through furnishing basically a whole apartment and living on the 3rd floor, this next move's gonna fucking suck. I've already figured out I gotta rig some sort of like pulley system
I was about to
that
say.
I can rig off the side of my patio. So as we're moving, I can just like hook something up, pull it up, slide it off, and reel it down.
Have you seen where like
They do like a sheet or chute kind of thing.
Well, they just have 2 ropes. They have 2 big ropes, and they just have it, so far apart, enough for like say the space between the couch, and so you take it and you have it, of course, angled from the top to the ground.
So as it gets down,
and it just kind of goes, whoosh, and it
slows
slides
down.
Yeah.
We'll have to trial and error a couple of these things.
I mean, I would say you got to get thick rope because
rope's
like,
expensive.
Like, if you just had a sheet, you're not going to find a sheet that long.
It's called sewing, my friend.
I mean, sure, but I just feel like it will tear. But
You take
rope,
the feet off things. Like, I'm not just sliding them down with the feet.
Well, right, but
with the rope, you
with the
utilize the feet. But
Yeah.
that's cool because only a couch has feet and like a table. But like my bed doesn't have feet on it.
whoa. Humans have feet.
We're talking about inanimate objects.
Oh. A person in a coma.
I have feet.
I really enjoyed looking from
You're
YouTube
right.
to Brad.
But the only argument there is vegetables don't have feet.
They have wheelchairs.
They have wheels.
Oh, you know what's great is I know what he's about to say before he says it, and I'm just waiting for him to get there so I can say my next bit. So,
but yeah, that's really it. I'm really hoping to stay there for 2 years. I've moved every year since I've been here. I'm done with that, and I've helped everyone else that I know move every year since they've been here as well. Mm-hmm. It's just the sole responsibility of the friend with the truck.
yeah, that's true.
So we made it through it. Had a good, considering all the limitations that have been put on life as a whole, I made the best of it. We had an amazing time. Gianna has off during the week, so I would go camping or float with her on those days off, and then camping and floating or whatever with all the other friends on the weekend. But yeah, it's been good. He almost sneezed.
I really like it's just tickling in my right nostril, the need to sneeze, but it's not coming.
I did get promoted
Yes,
at work.
I heard about that.
It's a semi-made up position.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like your position on the podcast?
Pretty much, yeah. So everyone really worked for me. It was awesome. And looking forward to that. Taking on a little bit more responsibility.
That's awesome.
Not going to school this semester.
You're like a made up bitch.
A made up bitch.
Yeah, you get a position where people just like you're fourth in line technically
For what?
of
For
store order.
Well, no. I will be. Well, yeah, I will be fourth. But okay. But listen. So we have the.
Brad's just waiting as he's third.
I'm like doing the math in my head. But we will be having another manager come to the store, and I've been joking with Brad. I was like, she better not have a problem with me, because with being there for years now, and the way that I kind of, my role again, it was fucking made up. I'm like the liaison between the management and the peasants. So
I'm not a bloody owl.
so I've been making jokes. Like, she better not have a problem with me, my authority, because she better respect it. But yeah, no, it's been good. Things are kind of turning a corner.
So you're not going to school this semester?
No.
Especially with it just being online now?
Oh yeah, I think 3 out of the 4 classes I would have taken would have been online, and I need accountability. Like I don't really need accountability. I just need the potential of shame. Is really all that I need. You know, with an online course, you turn in your work, and I mean, not necessarily anonymously, but they there's no face-to-face interaction. Versus if I know that as a class we're turning in our homework, like on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And if I don't turn in my homework, I'm a piece of shit.
Oh, God. You know when you have, like, such a good, like, diss or comeback to say, but you're just like, I don't want to hurt his feelings. That's where I'm at.
I know. Because at the same time, I'm thinking,
How many...
so many things to say right now.
Yeah. You need accountability. You need somebody to shame you. Haven't you failed like twice now? Is that not enough of just like
No,
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't.
that's
it doesn't.
not. Oh, okay.
See, and I was thinking, as third in line, yes, that's a true statement.
Yep, we're back, folks.
I hope you know. I don't mean to just shit on you, but
No, you're good.
it's just,
I brought all of these against myself.
yeah,
you know?
because I know you're just like, oh man, I really wish I would have not done that. But also,
I mean, the only reason that I've ever failed a class in college is literally because I just spent my time doing more fun things. So it's like, I failed, yes. But I had an amazing time failing.
I gained life experience.
Hey, that goes far nowadays. You know, I leveled up the charisma a couple times.
Ooh.
You know?
So you're
Patience.
It's like a video game. You upped your experience, but
Yeah.
you didn't up your professions. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You know, scholarly dropped 2 levels, but on the other side of the house increased. It's all about perspective, man.
Yeah. You know what? You're right about that, Gage. That is all about perspective.
What do they say? Is it perspective is reality? Right? Is that?
No, I think it's perception is
God damn it.
perception.
What?
What?
Malnutritious.
Malnutritious.
Expialidocious.
It was one of two things that I was waiting. I was waiting, like I was thinking, is it funnier if I just stare and don't say anything, or come up with a word? And you chose the latter. So,
I mean, no, I laughed
yeah.
at not the latter. Because you didn't come up with a word.
Yeah, because
Which means I laughed at the former.
I've been using that wrong for the
Ladder,
past
ladder.
4 years.
When you say ladder, it's the second option.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought ladder was like what was before.
No, ladder's second option. I really wish we could play a live stream memory reel of all the times that you've now misused the ladder in your life in the past couple of years. If only.
That's a long thing. I use that sucker quite a bit. Nobody's taught me. I'm not an educated man like
Well,
yourself.
you've obviously never. I think you sometimes misuse it. Because if you would have misused it in front of us, I feel like one of us would have called you on your shit.
No, because you guys don't usually call me on my shit. You guys don't usually call me on my cell phone.
I disagree with the latter.
Hold on. On. Let me connect the dots there.
He's not talking about the penultimate, okay?
You know what's even better is when I'm saying a word and then I keep saying it, but just a little bit different. Like monarch. I was saying monarch and I just kept saying it over and over again to Brad, and then I just go mono-arch. It just.
Well, it's the same thing as you say any word a bunch of times. Eventually, you'll start fucking it up.
Well, no, I do it on purpose. Anyway, that went nowhere. Okay.
But yeah, no, dude, everything's going good. Awesome, loving it, having a great time. It feels great to be back here, recording another podcast with you guys. It's been way too long.
Yes. Yeah.
We talked about Mike stopped by work the other day, and I was just like, man, I haven't seen you in months. I also have barely talked to you in months. But that's the thing that I love about being guys. And it's like, it's been months. I haven't seen you. Haven't talked to you much. Oh, you're here? What's up, best friend?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Hi, love. How are you? Come here.
Hug me, brother!
Double tap. So
I did a single tap with each hand.
with each hand,
which translates into rule number 4.
which is
double
times
tap.
that by 2. That's 8.
Is it 4 or 2? For Zombieland, double tap.
It's double tap.
No, but what rule number is it? You guys are supposed to be the movie buffs here.
I haven't seen Zombieland since it came
Maybe
out.
it's rule number 2.
I think
Because I know rule number 1 is I don't. Is it warm ups or aerobics? However,
Cardio.
Cardio. Yeah. And maybe rule number 2 is double tap. Because I feel like they would draw that connection.
Yeah, it could be something. Karen? Never mind. No, Karen, don't bother. You typing with one hand sucks.
She hasn't worked in a while, man.
Yeah, well, also, she used to be a righty. Now she's a lefty. Forced.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, that's everything with us. Let's start with your little rundown.
Oh, dude. So, as a lot of fans know, a lot of people don't know my shit. My older brother has cancer.
Can we play like the crowd track?
Buoy?
Oh.
Or the world's smallest violin. So I've just been taking care of literally everyone.
In a different state.
Yeah. So
Which is why we haven't seen you. Or
Wow. One of us hasn't.
okay. Well, I'm sorry about your series of unfortunate travels.
Oh, God.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. But so anyway, many of people know my brother has cancer. He it's almost been a year. I don't know if you know that.
I do.
Next month. Well,
So
depends.
basically, you're saying that this podcast caused your brother's cancer. Because we're also about at our year.
About to hit our year in this.
huh.
Oh, God.
So let's think this through. So we must have recorded in August a bunch of stuff so we could then release it in September.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Because my brother, we got told he had cancer on the 16th of September, which I believe was a Monday. And then the next day he was in the ICU, in a coma, basically, or
Medically induced, wasn't it?
septic shock. He had septic shock, and so his body just shut down.
That's how. Remember when the whole thing with G was that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early last year, though.
Yeah.
That's basically what she almost because they did the cultures.
Yeah.
And then they started popping, and we got called at like 11 at night. They're like, "Hey, you need to come back to the hospital now."
Yeah.
And that's basically like almost what happened. Her system kind of started to go into septic shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scary shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
Because it just like, and it's like that happens. You're
Well,
like, what the fuck?
And that's what pretty much happened with us was that Monday. So my grandma was like, "Hey, let's go to the hospital." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then I thought it was just to like go and have a chat with the doctors, but no, it was, let's go to the hospital. And then as we're pulling in, I see my mom pull in, and also I see my grandpa's car, and I was like,
Oh no.
uh-oh, what's happening? And then they put us in this room with no elevator music where you can kind of hear like a fly's wings flapping or a fly fart. It was so silent. I was just like, literally give us anything at this point. And that's when they told us that my brother had cancer, and they were like, here's the treatment, we'll start tomorrow. And then here comes tomorrow, ICU. So it was like that. So
That same like eeriness. That's how I feel when my mother texts just me, my brother, in a group chat, and it's like, "Hey boys, I need you to call me."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is never good. It's not good."
Yeah, but it's like, hey, what do you guys want for Christmas?
No.
No?
She asks us individually. That's why I say specifically. If she puts us in a group chat together,
It's never good.
it's never good.
Yeah, oh no, it's never good. So yeah, we're almost at a year with all that. But my brother has been through a bunch of different treatments. He's been through our chop, which didn't work, but it helped a little in at least stopping the tumors from expanding. And then we tried rice, which was a more intense version of our chop. which are
Why are these all named after food?
It's the acronyms.
Well, I get that, but like our chop just sounds food related, and then the next one's rice. Like, man, I'd love to give me some rice with a side of our chop.
Yeah, it does sound like a barbecue rib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they did that on purpose because it's like familiar, comforting, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So rice, he did that. That didn't really go great either. And then our next step was to literally go out of state for experimental treatments, basically. And that's where we went to Salt Lake City. I want to preference this hard that Salt Lake City is fucking garbage.
Let me also just say, I think we need to broaden that spectrum. Utah is fucking garbage.
yeah.
Utah is for sure fucking garbage. So
You're not wrong.
So we got to a point with the whole care that we were trying, because our choices were to go to Seattle, Salt Lake City, or what was the other one? It's not LA. But anyway, like one other place.
Wasn't it Portland?
I think it was Portland. I think it was somewhere in Oregon. So we had options to go to 3 different places. And it got to a point where they weren't accepting any patients because of Corona, but technically they're affiliates with the hospital that we were at. And so it was just like, well, technically we're not new patients, but technically we're new patients for your place, but not in an affiliation. So at one point, I don't know if I told you this part, but at one point, they were like, we're not taking any patients. You should start thinking about hospice care and making him comfortable and stuff like that. And then, so that they told that to us on a weekend. And then come Monday, they were like, hey, we want you in Salt Lake City like tonight. And it was already 3:00 and it's a 5-hour drive. And we were like, no. And but it was quick. Like I was told, hey, you could be in Salt Lake City tonight. And so I took a shower. I started packing. Like I got fucking ready. And then they were like, hold on, wait. And then about 2 weeks later, give or take, they were like, okay, now you can come. And I was like, oh, okay, sounds good. And so my brother and I, we drove out, 5-hour drive, got to Salt Lake City, and obviously Corona's happening, and also the protests and riots and all that stuff is also happening.
Especially in a major city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
The ones here are nothing.
oh yeah,
Nothing.
yeah, not in comparison. We actually, when we first pulled up, we actually had to stop because there was people coming down the streets for their protests.
Yeah, I remember you calling one time getting food, and you were like, God damn it.
Oh my god.
Fucking protests. I can't even get back with the food.
So where the hotel was at, so it was pretty much like we were downtown Salt Lake City. And where the hospital is at, they have homes that you can rent and stay in, and that's where we stayed. I could be on the front porch and look at the hospital. It was so close. I could throw a football from the front porch and hit it because I got a great arm. Not to toot my own horn or anything.
Toot toot.
But so we were real close to it. And so we got there. Oh my gosh. So we got there. We got to a hotel because we weren't actually moving into that place, the house yet. Got there, and my brother was hungry, and so we checked into the hotel room, got him settled and stuff. And I looked up, and there was a Carl's Jr., and it was walking distance. And since I just sat for 5 hours on my ass to drive, I was like, I'll walk to Carl's Jr. So it's like 3 blocks away, so I'm walking down the street. Go to the door. It's locked. Go around to the other side. It's locked. And I'm like, all right. Walk another 3 blocks back to get the car to just pull up. So I pull up, and I'm ordering, and here comes this young kid coming up to the speaker, and he's going, and he's like pointing at the sign or the building. And I thought he was asking me if the Carl's Jr. was open. And I was like, no, man, I don't think they're open. And then I went back to ordering, and he just goes, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're open. And then the lady's like, is that all you want? And I was like, yeah. And then I look up at the kid, and he goes, hey, man, can you get me something? And I was like, sorry, man. It's not my money. And then I just pulled forward. I was like, stop talking to me, homeless person. I saw that guy several times. I got so familiar with the area that I knew homeless people that were there just for me driving. I could be like, there's the guy who just chills at Sonic cleaning up trash, hoping that when he dumps his trash into the dumpster, they'll buy him food.
Yeah, he got to show me some of these homeless people that he got acquainted with.
Yeah, it's also not a horrible. I feel like I'm gonna start doing that. You know, like, can I get some money? Like, you trying to clean this parking lot real quick or what? Because you do that, and I'll buy you some food.
Oh yeah, pretty much. They have a system there, but I've never been to Salt Lake City and not had a run-in with a homeless person. Every time, without fault.
Well, it's any major city you go to. The homeless population is significantly increased.
See, here in Idaho, they tend to not.
Well,
with you.
even our capital is not a major city in my eyes.
Really?
Are you kidding? No?
We also arrest them.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, I'm also thinking, like, we're very much an open carry state, so it's more like, ah! That's where I
Are you saying that you would consider?
No, but I would probably pistol whip them.
No,
I would pull it out and
I'm
just
not saying that. I'm saying...
Okay, I'm sorry.
Boise being a major city.
Okay, we went two different ways. I mean, yeah.
Because you said, really?
I don't know if I'd say major, but I would say a bigger city.
Like,
comparatively. It's not
landmass
major.
wise.
I would say Boise over Meridian, but even then, Meridian's starting to get up to Boise.
Yeah, at this point, it's just a suburb.
Yeah, but the ballsiness of the homeless
it's not,
community is different in a downtown city environment than it is going to be in your more like urban rural areas, which is like more of what I would consider.
I know I can go. There's a spa I can go down in downtown Boise where I could find homeless people.
Well, yeah, cool. Yeah. There's like 3.
Yeah, I'm not
versus
saying Boise
20,000.
I'm not saying Boise is like New York or LA. I'm just saying that
Thank God.
It is
or Atlanta.
I don't get that reference.
That's very wow.
Atlanta.
I
Georgia.
But you're from Alabama. Oh. Woo! Crimson Tide, am I right? You've missed this.
Oh.
So
I'm
anyway.
surprised it's actually taken... We've been hanging out for a couple hours now, and this is the first Alabama reference, so...
You know what's
doing
better?
Good.
When we were shooting craps, you said, you know what I mean, though? And I wanted to go, no, what do you mean? I wanted to so bad, but then Brad started talking, and I was like, it's lost. But anyway, so we spent the night in the hotel. Mm-hmm. Next day, he got admitted to the hospital, and I was getting my blood drawn for
results
to see if I'm a bone marrow match. While my other siblings got to do.
Did you get that result back yet? By the way,
I did. I did, and I also got they didn't charge their insurance like what we were told, so it was $116 that I had to pay. But of course, I got reimbursed for it. But it was really weird because how they had it on the billing, it said reoccurring on it, and I was like, do you think I'm gonna get my blood drawn like every month? Like reoccurring? What do you mean reoccurring? Plus they had like the date that they drew my blood and then an end date that was like 20 days afterwards. I think that's to test my blood and stuff like that, but it just seemed like I was getting treatment that entire time.
Mm-hmm. So
it's weird. But yeah. I'm a 0% match, by the way.
Of course you are. Why would you be?
Pretty sure he's adopted.
Milkman, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so I got my blood drawn while my siblings did a spit test. I'm a 0% match. So hey, hashtag bad blood. Am I right? So that was fun, but that also took a while for them to get back to us. It almost took them a month to get back to at least me. So brother got admitted. I got my blood drawn, and then I was driving back to Boise from there. Did just fine. I've never done a road trip by myself, and I've never driven a road trip.
How far was the drive?
5 hours.
It's cute.
Yeah. well, it gets even better. So drove 5 hours there to get to Salt Lake City. Drove 5 hours back the next day. Then when I get home, I get told that I'm going back. I'm driving 5 hours back because I'm taking my sister-in-law back there to look at the house we're gonna go see, to see what kind of like amenities we needed. So it was a recon mission. So drove 5 hours back there Saturday, spent the night. Then Sunday drove back to Boise. I already feel like I'm messing that up. My brother and I drove out Wednesday. I went back Thursday. We drove back out Friday. Drove back to Boise Saturday, and then we drove back to Utah on Sunday. That's what it was.
But a lot of those you weren't alone for.
I wasn't. No.
Different.
No, absolutely not. But, I mean, I did do 25 hours of driving in 5 days, just back and forth. I didn't spend more than 24 hours in one spot.
I get that.
So, but it was fine. We actually listened to the podcast, by the way, which, fuck you and fuck you. Love you. Thank you for coming.
Nice.
I realize, having my sister-in-law listening to the podcast, that I pretty much started a podcast for you guys to just shit on me.
What are you talking about? You want to no? Because it always works in twos, though.
You're right.
It's a collective target.
You know what's better is you explain that on an episode of the podcast where it's like, where you're like, it's always like Gage and Brad team up on Mike, and Mike and Brad team up on Gage, and Mike and Gage team up on Brad. Yeah. And we even talked about like, who would you want in a corner? And
I do remember this. Yeah,
and Gage was like, Gage, you picked me. Brad, you picked me. And I was like, I don't know who I should pick. So like you for a fight, you for like just to outwit everybody. But I mean, you do that too.
Brain, brawn. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But
yeah. I do have my wits, but Brad's quicker. And I'll be the first to admit that. I don't give a shit.
So,
that's fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, we.
So how was it listening, like, with somebody else?
It was fun.
Because I'm sure the whole time you're like watching, engaging for reactions.
Yeah, and she would like ask me questions of like what like brought up that subject, or she would like
Reddit.
Yeah, you know, they're a good sponsor for us. But it was a lot of fun because there would be times that I'm like, hey, pause it. What did you think of that? Or what would you say for an answer? Or when we would listen to the "Am I the asshole?" stuff,
what would be your take?
Yeah, what would be your take? So we actually still had discussions about it.
That's like an interesting way to like use the podcast in order to generate discussions in real life with the people you're with. That's good.
Yeah. Especially for the "Am I the asshole?" stuff, because it would be something so kind of controversial in a sense, and she would have a different take, and even me re-listening to myself and whoever we had on, I would either still have my same opinion, or my viewpoints would change, or I would think a different way about it, or I should have said that, or I should have flipped Brad off and tugged on your beard a little bit more, you know. Just kind of worked in like, I should have done this, should have done that, but it was fun. So yeah, a lot of shit happened in Utah. My brother got a drug called Blena that had to run through him 24/7. Which, by the way, the company that makes the drug is about $30,000 each bag, by the way. They gave it to us for free, which was very nice of them.
And this is one of the trial.
So it's
test things.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It worked on leukemia, and my brother has lymphoma, and so they thought it would work on this because leukemia is worse than lymphoma, I believe. Yeah, but anyway,
But the cancer your brother has is very
it's very rare.
rare, yeah.
Yeah.
And like slightly advanced.
Yes.
Like really advanced. But
Like, could have a PhD. Like,
call me Dr. Cancer.
like I would say it's smarter than most of the medical people in Utah. It was almost stupid how much we had problems with. Like my sister-in-law got a call from them asking if the reason they were seeing him for his cancer was a workplace accident, and it just blew my mind that they thought this was part of like workman's comp. That my brother got cancer through work.
Depends on your job. I guess.
He's been
you know what I mean?
unemployed for a while, so
Asbestos removal or something.
yeah.
You never know. A lot of times what was Agent Orange? Yeah, they didn't start comping people for that until 20 years down the fucking road when all these people started getting cancer.
You want me to go through my brother's jobs? Wendy's?
Does your brother want you to go through his jobs?
Nah, I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. He doesn't listen to this. He's busy sleeping. He worked at Wendy's. He worked as a window salesman. And then he also worked at a call center. And then he had a small job engraving jewelry. That's it. Just about it. Maybe
that's about the amount of jobs that I've had.
Yeah, maybe a couple of ones that I missed, but like Wendy's was a big one. That was his first, and the call center was also a big one. So yeah.
Okay.
Not like a nuclear plant like Homer Simpson. So
he does work on a nuclear plant. Yeah. Which would be better, to work at a nuclear plant?
Chernobyl.
Oh, no. So, how do you think each of these TV series would go if the fathers of the families reversed their jobs? These two shows being The Simpsons and Family Guy.
Yeah, I thought.
So Homer working at a brewery and Peter working at a nuclear facility.
Well, maybe his skin would turn yellow and his wife would get blue hair.
His daughter would be born with a spiky head.
Yeah. Same with Bart, who's voiced by a woman.
Bart.
Yeah, his son Bart Simpson.
Oh yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
Moving on. So yeah, it was Utah was an experience. I hated Utah.
Well, you're back.
I am back.
Happy to have you back.
Thank you, man.
I know you're happy to be back. I know Brad's happy you're back.
I am happy you're back because that means I don't have to make any more trips to Utah.
Yeah, so before I get into that, we should talk about Taco Bell.
I like Taco Bell.
So when my brother was still in the hospital, and we were in Utah at that point, because when he first got the drug, they had to keep him inpatient for a while. He wanted Taco Bell for breakfast because they have a breakfast menu and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so the previous day, got on my phone and started looking up places. I was like, all right, okay, let's see where Taco Bell is, because there was two streets that I knew if I could get on, I could literally go anywhere, just because of how I was mapping out the area. So State Street, and then one block over was Main Street. So I got on State Street because there was a Taco Bell. They said there was a Taco Bell on State Street. So I'm driving down State Street. I have my sister-in-law in the passenger seat. And we're driving. And they have stupid named roads. They have like 400, 500, 600, which is fine. But then over here, about 5 miles away, they also have a 400 and 500 and 600. Very stupid. They also have two names for some of the streets. Like 400 is also University. Or, let's see, I think 500 is Stockton, I think. Just stupid.
Well, on one side of the road it's 400. The other side of the road it turns into Stockton. So they kind of just.
At one point, we had to hit the intersection of 1400 and 1400, though.
Yeah, we did. That's right. We were trying to find Subway.
But it's probably like how it is like in southern Idaho. You know, it's like 1400 northwest, 1400 southeast.
I was talking to Andrew, and he's like, yeah, did you know there's another 1400 just a few
Yeah.
roads down?
Yeah.
I'm like, how stupid is that? Not only is there northeast, southeast, there's also one that's
West.
Yeah.
Well, also when Brad was down, some of their street signs just say Salt Lake City on it, like 3rd Street.
Almost all of them. It's
Had
almost
Salt
like they
Lake
forget where they're at. So
Yeah.
they have to have Salt Lake City written on all of their streets so they know what city they're in.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be in Salt Lake City. They're like, Salt Lake City, no, like turns into Darth Vader.
It's like with me smoking menthols. Hey man, can I bum a cigarette? Yeah, I smoke menthols. I'm good.
Yeah, I just quit. So we're driving down, and finally I get to like 3,400, and I was like, I've gone too far. There's no way I already passed the Taco Bell. So I was like, okay, hey, look up where Taco Bell on State Street. She was like, there isn't a Taco Bell on State Street. And so I was like, what? No way. And so I pull into a movie theater, and I get on my phone, and I go, no, like right here, it says Taco Bell on State Street. We look at her phone, no Taco Bell on hers. And she goes, there's one on Main Street, and we're actually just a block away. And so I was like, okay, whatever, we'll go there. So we go to Main Street, get Taco Bell. I go back on State Street because I was like, I'm going to find this fucking Taco Bell. So I'm driving, and I know it's by a Starbucks. I know it's past some McDonald's, by a Starbucks. See the Starbucks, no Taco Bell. Instead, it was like a family-owned restaurant that is also a Mexican food restaurant. I don't remember the name, but it wasn't Taco Bell. So it said Taco Bell on mine, not on my sister-in-law's. We were like,
Does she have an iPhone?
no.
Interesting. Are you guys both using the same like search engine?
Oh, just Google Maps on already pre-installed on the phone.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. So
I was thinking like different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were like, whatever. Like, I know where the Taco Bell is. But there was 2 different times where I went and got food, and it took me an hour to come back. Because on State Street, some of the riots were happening, or not riots, but protests were happening, and cop cars would block off big areas of the road. So I would have to go like 3 or 4 blocks in the opposite, or like take a left 3 blocks down, take a right 3 blocks down, and take another right 3 blocks down, just so I could be on State Street again.
It's called a 50-degree offset.
We're not playing football. So
It's just navigation.
So finally I was like, there has to be a closer Taco Bell than an hour drive total. And so I look it up, and it says, hey, there's a Taco Bell on 400. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just take 1700 or 700 instead of State Street. And I'll get on 400. So I'm driving, hit a stoplight, and I'm looking, and I see it says University, and I'm going straight. I'm like, okay, it says University, and I look at it. It also says 400, and I go, fuck. Damn it. But I'm not in the turn lane. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to Main Street Taco Bell, because I don't know if that one even exists. So light turned green, I pull forward, and I was like, okay, I'm going to look down 400 to see if there's a Taco Bell. Look down, no sign for Taco Bell. I was like, all right, let's go to Main Street. Went to Main Street and got the food, all that jazz. But I was like, okay, there's for sure one Taco Bell that does not exist. 90% sure a second Taco Bell does not exist on my Google Maps. So finally I was like, I just need to know. So I went down 400. Guess what? There is a Taco Bell. But the sign is covered by a big, big tree. and you couldn't see it by just driving past it. So that was a lot of fun. But then there's also the Wendy's that doesn't exist either. brother wanted Wendy's, so I look it up. So we're on B Street, and B Street is more of the neighborhood area. So going down B Street, you turn on to Temple, South Temple, and South Temple you can then go onto State Street and Main Street and all that jazz, right? The reason they call it South Temple is because there's a lot of churches, because Mormon state. Also, there's a Scientology building, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's closer to 700.
It's the capital of made-up religions.
So on the corner of B Street and South Temple, there's a church. It says there's a Wendy's right across from that church. There's no Wendy's. So twice, two different...
So it sounds like you need to just start double verifying these places. Like,
Oh.
when you use Google Maps and it says something, there's like, let me just actually Google it. You know, like the internet.
Oh, you're not far off. I honestly contemplated just doing recon missions at that point. Of like, I'm not going to just... I'm not doing anything. I'm just... You know, everybody else went to bed. I should just go for a drive and just... Hey, my brother wants Burger King. Let's go find a Burger King now. Like, I actually had those moments of like, I'm sick and tired of having to drive so far where I know there's at least one to then just get food. So, no, it was the actual thing. So, here comes Brad. So, we were told that we could leave. My brother had an appointment, and we were told that we could leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, I started getting on the phone, literally trying to find anyone to come help us. Because unfortunately we had too much for one car and too little for two cars of all the stuff we brought. And so I called up Brad to see if he could come, and luckily he had the day off. But then they told us, hey, it would be about 2 or 3 days until we can decide if you're actually leaving or not. And that's where we were like, fuck. Do we still have Brad come just in case they say yes, that we could leave? Or should we not bother? And this was around 4th of July weekend, if I'm not mistaken, because the whole point was we didn't want to leave during 4th of July. And so we were like, should Brad come? Should Brad not? You know what? If anything, maybe he should, just in case. Maybe he could take some of the stuff down for us that we did need right away.
Get ahead of the move a little bit.
Yeah, and so just gut reaction, we were like, okay, Brad, how about you just come down anyway? If not, you could just hang out, and it's only a 5-hour drive. Both.
Yeah,
just there. And
just 5-hour round trip.
no,
10-hour. Yeah.
10 hour.
Yeah, 10-hour.
You only driving 10 times or 10 hours just to hang out.
Yes. Pretty much. So we were told we could go home, so we made the whole plan, and then we were told it could be 2 or 3 days till we could really figure it out. And so Brad came down.
On the way there, though, I got the call from you saying it's a go.
Yeah, well,
Because that's why we ended up that next day loading up the truck.
yeah. Well, that's why we loaded up stuff that we didn't necessarily need, because they made an appointment for us here in Boise.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, we had to be here.
On this aspect, yeah, I've been caught up. I would get
Yeah.
Brad's synopsis. Synopsi? Synopsy?
Snopes.
Snopes!
Fake news.
Fake news. So Brad came down, and he wouldn't be able to leave until sometime after like 6 or 7, and so he pretty much had to just stay until we got word. So we played Monopoly, and I kicked his ass at Monopoly. It was on my Xbox. So basically, we packed up the car, and then once we got all packed and we got food, my sister-in-law was like, just in case, how about we keep the stuff that we have? And so we were like, okay. So we unpacked the car. And then we kind of just sent Brad on his merry little way. So Brad basically drove 10 hours in 2 days to play Monopoly and get his ass kicked.
Well, so you guys...
And get in a little bit of a wreck.
Yes. So I asked you to borrow one of your parents' cars, and it has a cattle guard on it, which is pretty much a big like police barricade.
Well, he had options of either taking the father's new truck,
His new F-250,
or the
what was it? I think it's an 08 Expedition.
And so the parts that you don't see of this is the conversations that we're having at work about. He's like, oh, but then I'm thinking about the riots. Maybe I shouldn't take my dad's new truck, even though technically would probably fit more in it. Then he's like, I'm gonna take the Expedition and stuff like that. So then he leaves, and I don't hear anything from him. And I saw you, was it Sunday or Monday at work? I don't know, but it was after the weekend you got back. And I was like, oh, so how'd your trip go? And he just starts laughing.
Sounds about right.
He's like, well, it didn't go. So, and he sort of tells me the story about how everything kind of got canked and whatnot, but that how it was nice to still come down, offer some social relief, and stuff for you. And then he was like, and I didn't take my dad's fucking truck because, someone definitely hit me. Or they backed into you, right?
Yeah. So we went and got Wendy's because I would call Brad constantly just to scream at how bad Utah drivers are. I hate Utah drivers. They are probably the worst, and I've traveled across the country. And it
Literally.
Yeah.
You're such a well-traveled individual now. Look at you.
Yeah.
Cultured and whatnot.
Yeah. I went from basically just maybe going to like Yellowstone in California to then going across country and doing my own road trip to a different state within 2 years. So that's fun. It's fun. Great. Okay.
We're going through changes.
I miss you, Gage. Tug a beard. So when Brad came down, I was like, you're driving. I don't want to drive. I need a reprieve from not driving. And so he's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'll drive. And he, with it just being there for 2 days, he was like, I absolutely see exactly what you mean by every time you fucking called me and I had to bitch. Like, there was 4 days in a row that I would just call him up and just go, this fucking police barricade for these protesters. Like, I was like, I have to drive so fucking far to get around this barricade. Whatever. It would be constant. Like, I would go from South Temple, turning left onto State Street, see a bunch of flashing lights, and just go, motherfucker! God
Well,
damn
especially when it's within, like, your first 4 minutes of the drive. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So we went to Wendy's, and we pull up into the line for the drive-thru, and we're just waiting, we're chatting, and all of a sudden, I see the lady in front of us just put her car in reverse, see the white lights pop up, and then she just starts slowly backing up, and I'm like, okay, she's just gonna back up enough to then pull out of the line. No, she just kept coming. She just kept coming.
Yeah, except for at the end, it's like she didn't hit her brakes and instead hit the gas more.
Yeah. And so she hits us. She then did not acknowledge us. Like, her window was down. It wasn't like she waved or was like, oh my gosh, like what just happened? No, she put it in drive and then just pulled forward and stayed in line. She made it seem like she was gonna get out of line because she didn't want Wendy's anymore.
Did you guys, like, not go approach this individual?
No, because I was like, oh my god, like, should we get out and say something? And Brad just goes, she hit the cattle guard. I did more damage to her than she did to us, and she backed up. And so I was
not only that, you're in a parking lot, so there's private property. Most laws don't affect unless there's drugs or alcohol involved.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. Murder.
Well, I'm talking
okay.
auto accident type thing.
Gotcha. What was even better was there was a Wendy's.
It'd be literally caught on camera, though. of a lady literally just going into reverse, slowly and then quickly backing into you, and then just driving forward like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah, it was like she hit the car and then just like it shocked her into realizing, oh, hey, I'm at Wendy's. That's right. I wanted chicken nuggets. Let me pull forward. That's literally what it seemed like.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
It seems like she just, her head like hit her backrest and was like, I could really go for some chicken nuggets. That's straight up what it was.
Oh, look, I'm already here.
And also, her car was shitty anyway.
yeah, it
She
was
probably
shitty.
got into 3 car accidents that day. But
Like, honestly, yeah, we would have called the cops and they would have just been like, all right, so what dent is it? And I can't tell. There's 500 already. Like, they wouldn't have been able to tell.
it would have been fun for her to see her like twist the situation and just be like, they hit us. Look at my front end. And it's like, you were in front of us. How did we hit your front end? What? Plus, there was also a Wendy's worker who was on a smoke break, and
This is part of the reason I was just like, we're not getting out. It's the Wendy's worker walks up to the front of the vehicle, looks at the cattle guard, and then laughs and goes and sits back down and starts smoking again.
Yeah.
So, it's not like there was a shit ton of damage.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and so we were like, whatever with this. But I was like, of course. I have my friend come down to do me a favor using his parents' vehicle, not even his own, which I'm glad you didn't bring your own, and I'm glad you didn't bring your dad's truck.
Oh, I'm super glad I didn't bring his truck. Because I would have had to beat a bitch. That's what would have had to happen.
And what's even better was when Brad dropped off the car, he told his parents, obviously, and they were like, interesting, 2 weeks before you took it, I was thinking about taking off the cattle guard.
Thank God they didn't take the cattle guard off.
And was it your mom who was just like, well, I guess that solves that. You're not taking it off now.
Yeah. Not only that, when I walked him out there, they saw it and laughed.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, a cattle guard never hurt anything.
Yeah.
You know, just having it on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I made sure for Brad to tell his folks that, please tell them sorry on my behalf. But Brad was like, they're not going to care. They're going to find humor in it more than anything. It's not like any damage really actually happened. But
Yeah.
So that was Brad's first trip down. Then second trip was my sister-in-law had to go back to Boise for a little bit. And so she
Needed a ride because you had an appointment the next day, so you had to stay there to take your brother.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, I can't leave because my brother was going to get released from the hospital. So I was like, I can't leave. So I was like, hey, Brad, I know you have that day off. Can you come by and just pick up my sister-in-law?
Just swing by.
Yeah.
Just right up the road. 5 hours, easy.
Yeah, easy. Well, I was like, hey, you're not coming here to pick up my sister-in-law and take her back to Salt Lake City. You're here to play Monopoly.
Which we did, and I kicked his ass twice.
Yes! I love when that happens.
It's like perfect timing.
Oh, the timing on it is always great. So anyways, he came to the house. We played Monopoly. He beat me twice, but he also beat Leo and what was the AI we were playing against? Leo and like Antonio or something like that. And which we were like, oh fuck Leo. Leo was a piece of shit every freaking game. Like I purposely got Leo as the AI for every game so we could just have somebody to bitch at. So yeah, he beat me twice and whatever. So then you left and it was just me and my brother for a while, and then my sister-in-law came back. You didn't bring her back, and then I also tried to get you to come out to bring somebody else to Utah, and also maybe take him back. But you actually said no to us. Let me repeat that just to show the audience how shitty of a person you are. You said no to a guy with cancer.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, that card only works the first, 5 times.
Yeah, I know. Which, honestly, me and my sister-in-law, we were like, we're almost glad he said no, that he's willing to say no, because he had so much...
I was going to say, in my defense, your sister-in-law, when we first had the conversation, sent me one message as we're talking, you can say no. This is the second time I went down. And then I agreed, and she sent me a second text calling me a pushover.
So there's no winning,
No.
really.
If I say no, I'm a piece of shit. If I say yes, I'm a pushover. I'm screwed either way.
You're a bitch.
And worst of all, you're Mike's bitch.
You big-ass, Jew-ass nose bitch. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that went hard. It's been a while.
You tall ass, Skeletor ass, small nose ass bitch.
You bitch-ass, cunt-ass, Jew-nose-looking bitch.
Nana ass. Bitch.
Bitch. Bitch.
Scary Terry bitch.
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch. But yeah, so you actually said no with that, which was totally fine. Because, luckily you said no because we got told we would be coming back anyway, after 2 months of being there. So then I called you and just be like, yo man, this one, it would really suck if you said no because we're coming back and we need you to help us bring all of our stuff back. And you were like, well, the fates have spoken. I happen to have the next 3 days off. I was like, fuck yeah. Finally something going our way. So then you drove back down.
Yeah.
And we, of course, we didn't play Monopoly, I don't think.
Not that time.
Not that time because we were in packing mode. And so we packed up the car. This motherfucker parked in front of a fire hydrant. And I was like, dude, move the car because that's all we need is for you to get the car towed or a parking ticket.
Just so you know, all the time that you spent driving between here and another shitty city, which is also a super shitty drive.
It is a shitty drive.
It's high desert. There's nothing. You could have made a pretty decent cross country road trip, and you could have probably at least visited, I'd say, 25 amazing things.
I've done that before.
Yeah. So
I hope you feel like you spent your time well.
It was Rona time. What the fuck else was I supposed to do?
You not go to Vegas.
Fucking assholes.
Well, also, he just came to Utah twice to play Monopoly with his friend, and then the other time was for him to actually help us. So,
I think that's something we also need to talk about with the Rona, is that it absolutely fucking ruined the amazing plans that we had.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because as you guys all know, we've already been to Vegas once for Queen.
Mm-hmm.
We had another Vegas trip planned to go see Letterkenny live in Vegas.
Yeah.
With an additional person, which is just more people to add to the fuckery. Oh man, out of everything, I think that was what crushed it. We had so much fun last time, and it was so close. We were only
we were 2 months?
2 months?
Two
but
months
we had
out?
planned
Yeah.
months and months in advance about this trip.
The real kicker too was when they did all the lockdowns in all the major cities, they locked down Vegas. The day that we were supposed to be taking our trip, when they canceled our reservation, they opened Vegas up the day after we were supposed to be there. It was fuck
that's right.
off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
But don't worry, we got some contingency plans. We'll be practicing our craps game.
Yeah.
And we'll be ready for you.
Well, what's even better is talking with Brad. He was like, maybe we'll do 2 trips.
Well, because it first started of okay, we'll see when they reschedule, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then he starts checking his shit to book rooms, and it's just everything is comped, just because of Rona.
Yeah.
And that's when we kind of started. We were like, maybe we should just do a trip because our store manager, he did like quote unquote promise.
You did.
That once we get our shit back together,
We're
that
getting another manager.
That's true. That he will guarantee that he's going to give us the time off because we had already put in our time in. We'd worked out the schedule, all of that shit for us both because we're semi. He's important. I'm half important.
You're 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're 3 and 4. You know, which considering in role of importance, it only goes to 4 in the store. Yeah, 4. I
3.5.
It's half of your people that can pull some weight.
Yeah, that's true.
So he did pretty much, unless like we were like, we need to go during Christmas. You know, pretty much any time other than Christmas, he'd probably let us. He promised to give us our time off together again.
Yeah.
So then we started joking about the second trips, and then still going as soon as they re-release the dates for Letterkenny.
Right.
But I think it all kind of worked out good. Maybe we'll give this a couple weeks on the table. Get some more knowledge down.
Get some practice
and then,
in.
fuck it, dude. We'll plan a small little trip.
Yeah.
Little weekend.
Yeah, something like that.
And let Vegas pay for Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas pays for the next Vegas.
Well, like last time.
Or both.
Or both. Because this will be the first time as a group. So we have learned... Today is the first time I've come over and we've actually... All 3 of us have gotten on the craps table that Brad built for himself. And we have definitely learned that it's like... It's an amazing group game. Because, I mean, I lost the most out of all of us. But Brad made like 30-something bucks. Yeah, but Mike made up for it. I mean, this motherfucker made like over $500. So...
Subtract practice.
Practice. Yeah, so we'll just learn our technique as a trio and then add in roles.
I really just, when playing craps, I really just say fuck it. And just bet however I want and roll however I want. Because, like, Brad's like, I have a strategy. And I'm just like, I just shake the dice in my hand and I just go, "Bleh," and just toss it.
But a lot's been learned. Mm-hmm. We'll plan some shit. I promise you guys are going to hear about it.
Yeah.
It's good. That's going to be like our silver lining of like all of this shit.
Our magnum opus. Oh. Or it's the latter.
You used it correctly.
Did I? I don't even know. I just
But
said
you
it.
Also just re-agreed with what you already agreed with.
Yeah.
So it...
Yeah, because I know I'm right.
Because of me. Who instructed you on how to use the
Former.
What would you...
I'm fucking done with you.
Court adjourned.
I'm done with you.
You know what's even better? Re-listening to my own podcast. We made this podcast to shit on me, but I also made this podcast to torture you guys. It's such a good, like, love and hate relationship that we have. Like, I make Brad, like, deal with, not soap operas, the, like, reality show stuff that we had to talk with.
Rude? I still think you need to watch Hamilton. I know. Maybe. I know you hate musicals, but I would also say with Hamilton, why do you have to open and close the door so fucking violently?
I don't know.
I like slip in and slip out, and he's like, yeah, everyone's gonna know that I left.
What a dick.
What a fucking asshole. But with Hamilton, I think you would really enjoy it. Honestly, though, I have watched it. Gian and I have watched this like 10 times together because we can never make it through the first hour and a half. Like, she's just watched the first like 45 minutes of it so much. She can like sing the whole songs. So so every time it's like, oh, can we watch Hamilton tonight? She's like, but can we like start it over from the beginning? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So we started over, and we fall asleep at the same fucking time. I've watched the beginning of Hamilton so many times. I still have not made it all the way through. But it is very enjoyable.
It's like my older brother watching March of the Penguins. Just having Morgan Freeman just narrating penguins, and he
I think
always gets
Morgan
to the same...
Freeman narrating anything.
Well, right, but he gets to a point watching that movie where Morgan, like the penguins start like dying, and he just goes, they're going into their long slumber. And my brother just goes, so am I. And as he's like closing his eyes to fall asleep.
Jesus, don't go into the light.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
By the way, because I got up to check why the dog was barking,
None of us noticed.
I feel like I got up, closed the door, and you guys started talking smack. And then when I came back in, you guys just started with the Hamilton conversation again. So I can't wait to listen to this podcast to hear the shit that you guys were saying.
Well, don't be such a fucking dick and we wouldn't talk shit.
Well, it's funny because anytime any one of us gets up to leave, we just talk shit in the mic just to wait for people to hear it. So, listen.
I think I've left twice and I didn't know that until now. So, can't wait to re-listen to this episode as well.
Well, also the fact that you don't listen to our podcast.
I do.
Are you caught up now?
I'm one behind.
How are you still one behind? Dude, we haven't recorded anything.
I'm sorry that other podcasts that I listen to are still recording shit.
Oh, shit.
I do have to say, coronavirus.
That was a low blow.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't a low blow because I can't hold anyone accountable other than your older brother.
That's a low blow.
Yeah, especially when he doesn't have intestines. This is really not a lot of meat there to impact.
You can take it.
We digress.
Yeah. But I do have to say, you son of a bitch. I do have to say with coronavirus, I do hate the fact that I've missed a podcast. I was so long in my tenure of podcasts that I was hoping that it would, like you and I, Brad, we would no matter what be on every single episode. But
yeah, and you missed 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sucks.
It happens.
So I'm now 2 behind Brad. And
reigning champ over here. Which is great because I don't
think you can really beat me, Mike.
I don't-
unless you buy your own computer.
Well, I have thought about just like being like, hey, Brad, while you're at work, can I just come over to your house, get into your house, and just record podcasts?
I wouldn't give a shit.
I knew. I know you won't.
I would say you actually probably don't have to ask because you already know how to get into his house.
I sure do.
So, it's really not a...
Yeah, well, you can almost get into anybody's house with a brick. So,
I mean, yeah. Did I tell you? Oh, I don't think I've seen you. At work
He's right
the
there.
other day. Oh, shut the fuck up. Andrew and I started picking up on it, going out smoking and shit like that. Antifa's in town.
Oh, are they?
Oh, yeah, they are. Because supposedly...
It's a perfect time to test out my new gun!
Oh! Look at that. No, because we're in the parking lot, and there was, like, one van that kind of pulled up, and I'm sitting there smoking, and then, like, at first, I got real excited, because there's a group of people that are obviously traveling this van. They've got, like, acronyms and stuff written all over their van for BLM and all of that stuff. And
BYOB.
BYOG?
FUPA. FUPA.
FUPA! So...
You have a FUPA, and I have a FUPA, and you have a FUPA. We all have FUPAs.
Okay. But, so the one dude is like, he starts smoking a little weed out the passenger side of his door, and there's this one, like, tall white guy that's, like, walking up to the van, and the guy that's smoking, his buddy just came out of the grocery store, and is walking up as this other guy's walking. He's like, you can see him tapping, and he's probably, like, 200 feet away from me, tapping, like, put it away. And I'm like, oh, please tell me that on my smoke break, I'm going to be sitting here and this shit's just going to go down right in front of me.
Oh, that'd be fucking fantastic.
It didn't. He started reading everything on the van, and they fist bumped each other, and I was like, God damn it. I was like, I love conflict. I don't care what conflict it is. It's entertaining. And then...
Why didn't you call me?
Dude, but then other cars and other vans start pulling up, And it's got to be like a convoy, a group that travels from city to city, and just do this.
Like they're Jehovah's Witness,
Yeah.
but with Antifa. Have you heard about the riots?
Have you?
They're handing out pamphlets.
But yeah, so we thought some shit was gonna go down, but it didn't. But supposedly there's supposed to be riots this weekend or protests. Sorry. So protests. So I guess they're probably traveling for that. And then we went to go look at it again, and all of a sudden they were gone, and a fire truck was in their spot. Probably complete coincidence. So we were like, huh, I don't know, some sort of enforcement around here, and they're just gone. But yeah, so you look for it on the news. Maybe you'll get some. Go down.
Oh,
Have fun. You can have fun with your political views.
call up Mandy.
Oh,
Mandy's.
she'll ask for a loaner though, so
I got to.
I don't trust Mandy with a gun though.
Neither does Nick, which is why he hasn't allowed me to take her out shooting yet. I was supposed to teach her.
Lord Almighty. But yeah, so it was like a crazy thing that happened at work.
Was that just like Friday when I was off?
Yeah.
Had it all.
It gets me every time. we always like, usually it gets me on Sunday mornings when it's just us. Mm-hmm. Like print shit off, we're both like checking emails, and it's in his pocket, so it's not as clear, and it's just like, I like look around like, what's that? And he's just like, oh, my phone. My phone. Gets everybody every time.
It's even better when we were playing games on PlayStation, and I just hear his phone go, "Hello, darling," and I just go, "Hello, darling."
And then your phone's like, "Ew."
Well, what's even better is his dopey ass dog in the kitchen drinking water, and you just hear
When we're playing on like PlayStation.
and I'm just like, "Shut up, shut up." So,
I feel that. Well, again, dude, I'm glad you're back. I feel like whole again.
aw,
You know, this is good.
that's the sweetest shit, man. Oh, there we go. So yeah, man, it's nice to be back. Utah drained me. Utah drained me so much of like physicality and mentally and just like dealing
Will
with
to live.
dealing with bullshit just because
I like the will to drive anywhere.
basically like I would just scream at people just
Oh, I know.
of how much they're idiots. Like Utah people, they love to be in the left lane and you know, it will be flashing the left orange light,
Yellow. Orange is not a part of the traffic system
well,
in light form.
you're right, but I would say it's more orange than it is yellow.
And I'm the colorblind one.
Yeah, as I say, it's literally
Like, you don't see that yellow as the light. You see more of that. Well,
no, that's a red.
that is a red. But anyway, I digress. Like that. That's closer.
Blue?
No, you're just wrong.
Shut up. I'm sorry. That was a bit aggressive.
Are you ever gonna wall mount your?
I had it wall mounted. That's the thing. I need to find a better way of actually hanging it.
It's almost like you work, you know, at a place that sells shit to wall mount things.
Yeah, that means I actually have to buy shit.
Get certain employees.
Like a number 4?
Or as is stuff.
You're number 4, bud. I know it was a little confusing.
Oh.
Yeah, he was looking for
Well,
code reasons.
I mean, that's going to be your most secure option. But you don't also lose number 4, so you get peasants. That's where they come into town.
We can have you do it. We just use one of the peasants as a fall guy. Come on now. This
As long
is
as
how
you
it
have a
always works.
scapegoat.
You have to
Yeah.
have a scapegoat.
Absolutely. You're not wrong. I'm
It's
sorry that I...
It just reminds me of
I need
how-
somebody I can trust to actually do stuff correctly, but I also need a scapegoat that we can push all the problems on.
That's why I quit.
We'll come up with a hierarchy system here soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to be doing this, and it's
Good.
yeah.
It is what it is.
Anyway, It's good to be back. Happy 1 year. Happy 1 year. Happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year.
Happy.
I'm
Woo! We're spreading germs. Hey, let's do the trifecta handshake.
Coronavirus. Oh God, this is like the most awkward thing in the world.
Well,
It's like
especially when we start, like-
It's like we're all three joining in, just jerking a giant dick.
You ruined it. So, anyway, thank you for listening to another episode of the Best Friends Discuss podcast. Happy 1 year to us all. Thank you for all the fans. Thank you for all the people who listen and find at least some of us funny. Because, boy, I get told often I'm not. Anyways.
Just hanging out with my friends recording a podcast the other day.
Oh, my gosh. Brad and Nick, my brother-in-law, were playing games, and we were talking about who should be the new Wolverine, and we brought up Wayne from Letterkenny.
Okay.
And I actually have a picture to show you that actually, like, even more, like, cements it for us.
I need to see him with facial hair.
Because
I bet you he can grow a mean fucking beard.
it's red.
Well, I could
but
guess
yeah.
that.
Yeah, he grows about between your guys's.
I feel like those are two very dynamic different sides of the scale.
Very big differences.
That's like, yeah, grows between freshly shaven and fat beard. So,
Yeah.
doesn't everyone?
So anyway, we were saying, like, it would be great if they cast him as Wolverine, but they also had fun with it by adding in Letterkenny jokes. And so
it'd be like Deadpool Wolverine.
kind of
It's
so,
more like smart alecky adult humor.
a little bit, but it's more of like nods than like a that's what I said. And so every time we started a new line, we were like, you know, it'd be great for his name is Jared Kiso, and so we were like, you know, it'd be great for Jared Kiso's Wolverine is if he was like fighting a bunch of people, and then the rest of the X-Men showed up, and they were like, can we join? And he goes, more hands make less work. And so we just kept quoting it.
That's good. That's good.
Or like Magneto will be like, stand down, and he goes, hard no. It's just and so it's just
Disgust to get on the X-Wing. Back to Chorin.
back to shore. and even I think it was either Nick or you. He was like, before he got into a fight, he would like
that was me.
unbutton
Unbutton the cuff,
and then his claws would come out like
after he unbuttoned.
Well, he has to flick a cigarette too.
yeah.
So he unbuttons one cuff, folds it, claws start coming out as he grabs the stove, flicks it, uncuffs.
Yeah. Oh, it would be so great. Or he would see like
But you could make like Beast have like Squirrely Dan references.
Yeah.
Just because he's like the next bigger dude.
I think we included some of Squirrely Dan's stuff. Like I think we had like Nightcrawler being like real creepy, crawling on the walls and stuff, and just be like, take 20% off their Nightcrawler. Stuart would be a good one, but
Just crawls around the corner.
Or like when he's talking to a babe and he's like Harry now. Good you.
Good you.
McMurray. So we just had a lot of fun with it. It was a good time. So, but anyway, let's get out of this hot ass.
We're gonna sign off officially, or
Oh, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to. I'm Walter Cronkite. You're listening to the Evening News. Signing off.
no.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Best Friends Discuss podcast. I've been your host, Mike, with my host,
Brad.
and the fourth,
Gage.
Hey-o.
Deuces.
Later.
Peace out.